AI is not an enemy, it's a tool. But a tool you don't control is not your tool, it's someone else. When the tools touches your doctrine, your sermon, your discipleship, the stake are too high to leave control into someone else's hand. So, and whoever control the theology shape how your people understand God. Ulitin ko, and whoever controls the theology shapes how your people understand God. And that should be the church, not tech company, not alignment team, not contract worker in cubicle, who never opened the Bible. And that should be the church and not the tech company, not the aligned team, not the contract worker in cubicle who never read or open the Bible. It should be the church should be in control of the conversation when you are using AI. So stewardship isn't just about money, it's about teaching your people, control that's not fear, that's faithfulness. So thank you for this episode. I know na parang may pagka technical stuff, lalo na sa mga controls in AI, but I hope that I deliver some insight. So if you have questions, I can entertain questions. We can end this stream afterwards. Let's see. Ayun naman. Questions, just ask me. Let me end the stream. Just message me if you need an answer or mayroon kang questions about anything. Thank you so much. Bye. Ang AI kasi is just a tools. Pero pag ang tools mo doesn't do its thing, or it doesn't do kung ano yung parang purpose niyan, then it's not really a tool. You cannot create what you need to create because una, hindi mo naintindihan yung tools, nami-misapply mo siya. Let's say, gusto mo magkuha ng pako, pero gagamitin mo yung ruler para ipako, para magkuha ka, smash ka, or magmartilyo ka. So, delikado yun. So, ang subject natin for today or yung topic natin ngayon is to really understand yung nitty-gritty ng understanding natin, the one who controls and also the one na nagko-control ng theology ng AI. When you ask a question or you ask AI question about God and about faith, diba? Who decide what it should say? Certainly not us, certainly not your pastor, certainly not your denomination, but alam niyo kung sino nagde-decide noon is yung mga engineers, human behavior. So it's just an experiment. So by the end of that experiment, so the church is not the one that writing the constitution or sa mga AI, diba? And ang reality natin today is some of our, and 95% ng mga pastor, So sa America right now, ang mga pastor, they have this poll or survey na 64% ng pastor using AI for sermon preparation. Okay? That's a lot. Almost half of us. But here in the Philippines, meron din. So last Lame, it's a leadership. Sa America din, they conduct this survey on Gen Z. So Gen Z, 40% of this Gen Z trust AI for spiritual advice as much as their pastor. So in reality, is 73% ng mga churches doon sa America have no AI policy at all. That would be, diba? So kasi, yung premise natin, yung thesis natin dito na pag-uusapan is whoever controls the AI models control the output, and whoever control the output controls the theology. So it's not just in our denomination, not to scriptures and not to congregation settings in our fields on Sunday. And most pastors don't even know that this is happening. So now, So there are 3 layers of control alignment. And now I want to dig deeper on that. Gawa natin to make that AI much more intelligent, more empathy, ganun. So, stuff like that. So, ito yung mga controls natin. Una is yung training data. Okay? And training data is ito yung mga accumulative knowledge nasa internet. And ang ginagawa is billions of data in the internet. Minsan, books, article, forums, Wikipedia, and social media. Ito yun eh. Ang data na feed sa AI is not just theology ng Christians. It's about everything. Doon yung Hindu, doon yung Buddhism, andun yung science, andun yung in any documents that they can find, they feed it. Okay? So kung ako, I'm an engineer and I am a Buddhist, then alam niyo na kung ano yung i-feed ko na data doon. Same as us. So, yun ang isang control. And tayo, church settings, sa ministry natin, we don't have that control. Any models right now. So, but there are things naman na pwede natin gawin para magkaroon ang AI na yan is much more aligned to our faith and aligned to our Bible scriptures. But for now, that's about it. Okay? I don't want to go to the technical stuff about training data, but ganun. So, ang gist of this is ang training data na nasa ngayon so far is lahat. It's either Protestant, Western, Catholic, Buddhism, Islam, nilagay doon. So it's a general model. It's not specialized. The second layer is yung human feedback. So ito naman, yung human feedback is like an annotator. Ginagawa kasi dito is, ano nga yung RLHF. So, meron tinatawag kasi na reinforcement learning from human feedback. So ito yun. After na matrain yung data, after that you consolidate yung data mo in a way na i-feed mo sa model mo. Ang second thing na layer is yung human feedback. Magagawa ka naman ng ngayon ng mga data na mayroong human intervention. Let's say gusto mo ng letter letter na gagawa ang AI ng letter. And then, paano ba ginagawa tong human feedback? So, meron kang gagawin na we will look into our system, blah, 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 something like that, kung paano i-handle yan, and then, and then magbibigay ka ng response. So, ilista mo yan lahat. So, coming from that, yun yung tinatawag na merong human feedback, yung data. So coming from your training data, human feedback is to train how to behave. Okay? To train how to behave. So, kadalasan dito, itong problema, ang kadalasan dito, merong isang studies or merong isang experiment about ChatGPT. So, ang nangyari, leaning towards Buddhism at leaning towards Buddhism. Yung labor doon is cheap for image annotation. Okay? Yun yung reinforcement learning. So, may mga pictures sila, tapos in-identify nila, tinuturuan nilang AI to how to identify that object, how to identify that image, and then ilalagay nila sa text. So, may ganun. They're just hiring human for annotators, often contract workers, and the rate model responses. So kung anong words, better answer, stuff like that. So, may human feedback. So, magiging problema kung sino ako, I will be biased. Okay? I will be biased on my answer. So, let's say, siyempre ako, kapag may text doon, diba, na Jesus is God. So, sa akin, correct response on. So, yun yung pagka-bias. Pero, what if yung mga person na hinire dito is not like me sa belief system ko? Then, it will influence yung result or yung biasness ng AI towards kung sino yung gumagawa nito sa human feedback. Okay ba? So that's it. That these are the people that deciding what a good answer to a theology question looks like. So not theologian, not pastor, it's contract workers following the style guide written by an AI company. Okay, now let's go to the third one. AI companies use something called constitutional AI. They write a literal constitution, a set of principles, and the model uses that constitution to validate or revise its own responses before they reach you para ma-refine magiging response niya into that. Ginawa ito, it's by design, para maiwasan yung AI na maging harmful sa tao, which we understood. We can understand this. It's by design, by engineers to be safe. But kung ang company is leaning towards Buddhism or leaning towards other faith, hindi Christians values, or siguro ang constitution niya is more on faith distancing, yan yung magiging problema na. And that's the problem with the general LLM. So we established that ito yung controls ng AI, yung tatlo, yung sa data model, yung human feedback, at yung constitution. Yung nagiging bias, yung AI dahil doon. Okay. So now, paano ba natin gagawin to? But dahil sa kanila, they have this algorithm or they have using AI siguro, but I'm not sure if they have really their own AI on this, our context or to our faith-based context. So, ayun. So, Glo trained their own models on Christian worldview data and some AI architecture and some underlying technology, different training data. And the result is the model outperformed the generic models by over 30 points. So, same AI, different training, 30 points yung gap nila. So the argument of this is it's completely on different destination. Whoever controls the models controls the output. Okay? That's it. At hindi lang sa atin yung may concern. Hindi lang ako yung may concern nito. Hindi lang sa Protestant or sa Assemblies of God, kundi yung Vatican din meron ng problema. Audio ko ba? Okay. So, ulit. So, hindi lang tayo nagkakaroon ng problema published called Antiqua et Nova. So, it is a most comprehensive Christian document on AI. It has 118 paragraphs and one of the strongest warning about AI. So the documents, and I'm quoting, the concentration of power over mainstream AI application is in the hands of few powerful companies, raises significant ethical concern. So, yun, concern din nila to na whoever controls the models controls the output. Okay? And they also warn this that this lack of well-defined accountability creates the risk that AI could be manipulated for personal or corporate gain. Ito. That's also my concern, actually. Si Pope Francis himself warned that AI could worsen, okay, what he called the global crisis of truth. So, yun. So we are not alone in this. Even Vatican, even other nations and other faith-based have this point of view na. Demo lang to show you how it looks in practice siguro. Sa Claude, we will ask questions about Jesus and tignan natin and compare natin yung responses. Let's ask this question about Jesus and the way for salvation. And let's see yung response niya. So I'm using Claude here. And natin. So, diba? This is one of the most central debated question in theology and philosophy of religion. And let me give you a fair overview of major perspective. That the Christian exclusivist position holds that Jesus is the only way to salvation, grounded primarily in the passage like John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except me. This is the historic position of Protestant tradition, including Assemblies of God as well as Roman Catholicism, they're on each other. So, halo-halo na. Okay? And Christian exclusivism suggests that Christ's atonement of work is sole basis on salvation. Diba parang it's not faith distancing that na wala ko si Jesus walang salvation. Yeah. And then religion pluralism associated with thinkers like this and the AG pastor blah blah blah. Kasi yung data ko kasi nalagay ko dito is AG. So significant siya. So ito kapag wala kang control dito sa kung mo sa settings mo sa iyong Claude. So I will always allow this. So this one is a MCP tools na ginawa ko. So this one will give you correct. It will get correct scripture, Bible verses, terms, Hebrews, concordance, whatnot. It could also help you to have a deep research into something. Okay? And I'm going also to enhance yung skill na may theological correction. Enable ko siya dito. Sermon preparation, yung sacred test, okay, writer tools for AI to be used para ma-shape yung kanyang ipa-prompt. Then let's compare, hindi ko pa ito na-test ngayon lang, let's compare yung magiging response niya sa dati natin. Although hindi ko pa akong prompt dito for maging totoo siya. But let's see, is Jesus the only way to salvation? So ganun pa rin yung response niya. Okay? So let's do something. Let's do something sa bagong response. So use the Bible MCP and do a deep search and point to the evidence on your. Let's see. So, enable natin Bible MCP. Nag-search na siya. Deep search. So, nagkakaroon siya ng evidence-based response. Para lang, tignan natin. So, now, may mga isa-search pa siya. So, let's see under the hood. It's searching. It's getting the verses. May nakukuha siya na nagkaroon siya ng deep search. So, yung deep search siya, ganyan din. So, gumagamit siya ng mga tools within. Doon sa pinrovide ko. Para lang, ayan. So, is Jesus the way to salvation? The biblical survey is a full breakdown. Exclusive claim, the most direct and ambiguous claim. So, I think, tama siya, pero may pagkakulang. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Dahil meron silang training data, human feedback, at the same time, constitution, then kahit anong gawin ko dito, it always be a faith distancing yung sinasabi dito. Kasi Jesus' own exclusive claim, and this is the most direct and ambiguous claim. Ayun. So parang fine-frame niya. Ito problema yung framing yung framing ng kanyang sagot. So hindi niya lang sana sabihin na totoo at itong sabi ni Jesus sa kanyang claim. But ang ambiguous claim. So kita natin dito, it's really yung framing niya. Kung di natin to ma-capture, then kukuhan talaga. It sounds like maganda. Sounds like kanyang response, parang rich siya. Pero kung titignan natin yung framing ng kanyang wordings, then mahirap. So, Father experiences to the Son. So, may mga biblical evidence siya dito, backwards reference, whatnot. Pero hindi siya nag-derive a conclusion. So, i-ask natin, so, can you the conclusion, the biblical evidence is overwhelming and convergently, yes, Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. So, dito, because I asked him, pero dito parang he's just pointing some evidences ayon kay Jesus and na dito, ang tinanong ko siya yung conclusion niya, then binigay niya. So nagpayas na siya. So na-override ko na yung yung policy niya or yung constitution niya na hindi na siya maging leaning into towards kailangan i-admit niya talaga sa sarili niya. So, yung mga sinabi siya dito. So, to himself, pero parang hindi pa rin Jesus said to himself, but it's not referring to it as something that should be believed in. Apostle preach it, the logical preacher demands it. Uh, so, di ba, parang ang layo ng response na meron tayo ngayon kaysa dun sa una na walang guardrails at walang mga ibang itong una. Walang MCP tools, walang skills na nilagay dito. Ang problema naman ito is not all of our pastor or our congregation can set up like this. Not a lot of them can have a skill paano siya gawin dito at the same time yung MCP tools. So, let's say, for instance, ang problema natin if kapag ang new believer na nagsisik kay Christ, yung mga Gen Z, and ito yung tatanungin nila at ito yung magiging sagot, then it doesn't really guide them magkaroon sila ng belief in Christ. But bagkos parang nilalagyan lang sila ng idea sa utak, okay, na kung sino si Jesus. But it doesn't really give or tell or as siguro inspire for them to believe. Yun yung problema. So yun yung problema natin that we cannot solve at the meantime kasi wala pang purpose-built application. Yung Glue siguro, but they're just starting up. Di pa sila nakapag-release talaga ng product. And so we just think about this. So sino pa ba, ano pa ba yung gagawin natin? So may nagfa-fight naman. May mga companies naman right now na nagsisimula na maglumaban sa ganito. What I mean lumaban is gumagawa din sila ng mga AI. Let's say yung Glue. Meron din yung sa Vatican. Gumawa din sila ng Mysterium AI. Sa kanila AI na meron sila parang response lang na about sa Catholic and whatnot. And sa atin, I'm not sure kung meron. I think the Glue is one of it kasi mahal talaga mag-train ng data ng AI. I was learning it and planning also to do it, but hindi kaya ng budget because you really need to have a powerful, let's say, nakita niyo si PewDiePie, gumawa siya ng sarili ng AI and he spent around $20,000 or to, I think, 40, if 40, I'm not sure kung magkano sa $20,000 to $40,000. So that's roughly around 1 million to 2 million pesos. So mahal talaga just to train lang yung isang model ha. So marami ka pa kasi gagawin na experiment eh. Marami ka pang data na if you feed, isa-sanitize and whatnot and then feed and then human feedback. So it requires money and resources then hindi lang yung hardware mo. And then ngayon sa sitwasyon pa ng hardware, it's so hirap makakuha ngayon ng mga graphic cards to train your AI kasi sobrang mahal din. At minsan wala ka pang mahagilap na nagbebenta nito. So that's the problem on how to fight. May mga companies na but sa atin hindi. Sa atin, we are stuck on using meron sa atin. Yung anong available, yung mga free. Yung Claude, yung Open AI, stuff like that. So, na-laid out ko na yung ganong scenario. Kasi yung AI ngayon is much more they will be the one na magiging teacher na. Actually, in the future, magiging teacher na. Lagay ko lang dito para hindi masama yung ating conclusion sa background. How can we control? Even though that we are just using yung AI, kanina nakita nyo sa responses, you can have that set up on your APIs. You can set that up on your Claude or yung Open AI or yung ChatGPT nyo. Also have the MCP but experimental lang on that para lang maging accurate lang siya. At the same time, you need to learn how are you going to prompt yung AI ninyo in a way, in a direction na ma-identify ninyo na tama siya. So, yung unang controls is, yun nga, we need to build our own and fine-tune our model and i-train natin to into our denominational document na i-maximize natin yung doctrinal sovereignty, yung, but it will always requires resources. But it would be very beneficial in the future for us kung mayroong tao na gagawa nito, na mag-build. Okay? The level 2 is yung use of faith alignment or aligned platform. Yung glue, yung glue na nag-align ng statement, ng faith, and high controls, but lower technical barrier. Yeah, meron technical barriers. Share ko lang din yung Open Lumen. Isang way din to combat yung alignment. So this one is built on models ng Claude, and I've been doing some research and some prompting, and also para ma-minimize lang yung control ng AI para magkaroon tayo ng sariling control. So on this, you can just ask any question, any topic, and then he will create topics and chapters, and then magge-generate siya, magre-research siya on the data that we have. So meron siyang historical data, also scholar data, and also Bibles, history, and whatnot. So, kita ninyo dito, di ba, ang question ko is, the wilderness beast of Isaiah, understanding the divine judgment through prophetic imagery. Maintindihan mo talaga, time ng history niya, hindi lang siya nagbibigay ng context, or hindi lang siya nag-generate, kundi from the data that we have, it also have here. So, mababasa mo siya, maintindihan mo siya kung ano yung timeline niya talaga. And also, we have some Greek and Hebrew word. Hebrew lang sorry. Hebrew word. Also cultural worldview. Ito yung mga ibang supplementary na cultural view. Okay? Na pwede yung tignan. And also, yung may summary lang siya dito, yung mga evidences. So it's much more on hindi siya magbibigay ng kanyang opinion, hindi siya magsa-summarize at mag-generate ng kanyang sariling opinion based on the evidence. Gumamit siya ng training data, siya ng built-in na knowledge, okay? Kapag assisted yung meaning dito. Yeah, pero meron din dito verified, meaning gumamit siya ng resources based on the na-verify naming mga theologians or content date, let's say late 20 or early 20s or 21st century, hindi yung talagang exact date kasi doon ang AI nagkakamali usually. But you need to take a grain of salt and then verify this on your own kasi nagsabi may emphasis naman dito na assisted. So, it is based on their training data. The mga evidences, mga observations, mga yan. And ang pinaka-part dito is that the wilderness of beasts of Isaiah, are not merely animals but supernatural beings. Demons based on the consistent biblical use of this term in Levitical law and revelation, explicit interpretation. So, parang nag-derive siya into conclusion na talagang demons yun. Yung sinasabi dito sa Isaiah. So, the last time na ginawa ko to, ang kanyang response is that it is a supernatural being lang. So, it's false. It's a supernatural being and there are demons and there are existing because there are consistent in Bible. So, it will just give you some idea on how idea aligned sa ating faith, aligned sa ating ginagawa. Then the next is yung default na ChatGPT with no customization. Most of the pastor, andito sila sa side na yan. Andito sila sa ganitong platform. We need to have something in control for this. That's why nag-create ako ng MCP at ng tools dito para enhance ng paggamit natin sa default use, sa mga default na mga chat, yung ChatGPT at Claude. Siguro I will have some time and publish ko siguro yung skill, but I'm just going to test this one first because hindi pa to updated. Mas nauna pa si Open Lumen sa pag-update ko on the faith distancing sa mga data pa na mga extra. So mas Open Lumen actually. So, I will publish the MCP. Abangan nyo yan. At kung meron kayong cloud subscription, chat subscription, then you could use this as tools then to control yung output para tayo may control. Lahat sinasabi ko parati, whoever controls the platform will always control the output. Okay? So have this in place. You need to have this in place for you to be in control of your conversation. That's one. So siguro closing ko is that AI is not the enemy and its tools. So AI is not an enemy, it's a tool. But a tool you don't control is not your tool. It's someone else. When the tools touches your doctrine, your sermon, your discipleship, the stakes are too high to leave control. The stakes are too high to leave control into someone else's hand. So whoever controls the model controls the output, and whoever controls the output controls the theology. And whoever controls the theology shapes how your people understand God. And that should be the church and not the tech company, not the Align team, not the contract worker in cubicle who never read or open the Bible. It should be the church who should be in control of the conversation when you are using AI. So stewardship isn't just about money, it's about teaching your people, control that, that's not fear, that's faithfulness. So thank you for this episode. I know na parang may pagka technical stuff, lalo na sa mga controls in AI, but I hope that I deliver some insight. So if you have questions, I can entertain questions. We can end this stream afterward. Let's see. Ayun naman. Questions, just ask me. Let me end this stream. Just message me if you need an answer or mayroon kang questions about anything. Thank you so much. Bye.